I never thought my biggest fear would come from someone I once called family. My name is Emma, and this is the story of how my sister's dream of motherhood turned into my living nightmare. My identical twin sister, Stacy, and I lost our mother during childbirth. We were raised by our father, and though we're twins, we've always been complete opposites. Since we were kids, she dreamed of nurseries and baby names. I, on the other hand, dreamed of books, travel, and a life without diapers. Fast forward to today. I'm a flight attendant working my way toward becoming a published author. Stacy has been married to Jeff for 8 years and has never held a job. Her entire life has been dedicated to one goal: becoming a mother. She wants it more than anything. After years of trying, including grueling rounds of IVF, heartbreaking miscarriages, and countless doctor visits, she received the news that shattered her world. Her body could no longer carry a pregnancy. The damage from a car accident we were in as teenagers had made it impossible. She flat out refused adoption. She insisted, absolutely insisted, that the child had to share their DNA. And because we're identical twins, she came to me with a request that would change everything between us forever. One afternoon, she sat me down, her eyes filled with a desperate hope. "Will you be my surrogate?" she asked. I just froze. I've never wanted children. It's not because of any deep-seated trauma, though losing our mother certainly shaped me. It's simply a path that has never felt right for me. I looked at her, my own reflection staring back, and said gently, "Stacy, I'll donate every egg you could ever need, but I cannot carry your child." Her face turned a furious shade of red. She exploded, screaming that I was jealous, hateful, and selfish. In a fit of rage, she grabbed a framed photo of us from the mantelpiece and smashed it against the wall before storming out of the house. The silence that followed was deafening, but it was quickly replaced by an onslaught of texts. She sent me pages from our childhood diaries, old vision boards covered in pictures of babies, anything she could use to guilt-trip me. "How can you even call yourself my sister?" one message read. My boyfriend, bless his heart, stayed wisely neutral through it all. But the silence between Stacy and me grew heavier and more suffocating with each passing day. And then, things took a very, very dark turn. At a family dinner a few weeks later, Jeff, my brother-in-law, glared at me like I was something he'd scraped off the bottom of his shoe. I tried to break the tension, asking for more details about the surrogacy process, trying to understand their options. That's when Stacy admitted something truly chilling. She told me that doctors wouldn't approve me as a surrogate since I've never given birth. So Jeff's brilliant plan? We would pretend to be a couple at a fertility clinic to get the process started. Then, once the pregnancy was established, they would simply transfer my medical care over to Stacy's name. My father was horrified. He opened his mouth to object, but before he could get a word out, Jeff snapped at him, his voice dripping with venom. "You need to talk to your selfish bitch of a daughter." That was it. My boyfriend shot up from his chair. My dad, his face like thunder, kicked Jeff out of the house. Later that night, I found Stacy on the porch, sobbing. She finally confessed what was really going on. She told me that after her last miscarriage, Jeff's family had called her a murderer for losing the baby. And Jeff never once defended her. Instead, he told her he could never see himself in a child unless it was biologically his. And that's when his twisted idea of me, her identical twin, carrying his child was born. In that moment, sitting on the cold porch steps, I realized this wasn't about love or family. This was about ownership. It was about his ego. I looked her in the eye and told her, "Stacy, I would rather be a surrogate for you as a single mom than help you have a child with that man." 2 days later, I found my car vandalized. 2 tires were flat and a window was shattered. My dad had to tow it back to his place. The next day, I saw Jeff's mother's car following me on my way to work. The harassment was escalating. At brunch with friends, Jeff showed up and loudly introduced himself to the server as my husband, trying to create a scene and get me outside alone. When I refused to listen to him and turned to walk away, he grabbed a fistful of my hair and snarled, "Don't you effing walk away from me." Thankfully, bystanders saw what was happening and intervened. He fled before the police arrived. I went straight to the station and filed a report. The next day, he showed up at my airport terminal, trying the same stunt again, loudly claiming to be my husband to the gate agents. This time, security was ready. He was arrested. But it didn't stop. The messages started coming from burner apps, untraceable numbers. "I'll get you pregnant. You'll be stuck with me forever. You're the woman who will give me a son." I blocked every number, but the police told me that without concrete proof it was him, their hands were tied. I was terrified. I moved in with my boyfriend, who is now my fiancé. I had to stop flying for work. I barely slept, constantly looking over my shoulder. And through all of this, my sister Stacy defended him. She called me, begging me to drop the charges, crying that I was destroying her marriage. Then, everything changed. One night, she called me completely hysterical. She'd been following Jeff, a sick feeling in her stomach. She watched him tail my car. She saw his obsession with her own eyes. That was her breaking point. She drove straight to the police station herself. Through her sobs, she admitted, "I was so desperate to save my marriage, I ignored the truth. But when he pulled your hair, something in me just broke." She even confessed she knew he had broken into my apartment, but she'd stayed silent, clinging to the hope that her marriage could be saved, until she could no longer deny the monster he had become. With her testimony, the police finally had what they needed. They set a trap. They had an unmarked car follow me while my fiancé and I went on a date. Within 2 hours, Jeff was pulled over and arrested. Today, Stacy is divorcing him. She's staying with me and my fiancé. The other night, we all sat on the couch with our dad and watched football, just like we used to when we were kids. It felt like coming home. But I will never, ever forget the lesson this ordeal taught me. Saying no isn't cruel. It's survival. And sometimes, the people who claim to love you the most are the very ones who will try to erase your boundaries first. So I have to ask you, would you have held your ground in my position? And how do you protect yourself when family becomes a threat? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Please be kind. This story is much closer to reality than many of us realize. If this video moved you, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap that notification bell. We drop new true stories from Reddit every Tuesday through Friday. Until next time, trust your gut. Your no is sacred. This is Reddit Rundown.